I am very lightheaded. I got aches and chills and I'm very tired. But it's not because I'm sick. It's not because I have anything like that. It's because I just finished playing Battleblock Theater. Yup, just beat the game in about 2 days. A little less than two, well, more than 2 days. I was determined to finish it tonight, and I did. To the dismay of my chair, my arms, and my head, and probably the basement carpet too. And so now, before I finally sleep, in grateful in victory, actually that's the word, victory. I need to review this game, and get it off my list for good. This is the first of my true Steam backlog. I did do a little Inferno a while ago, but I'm finally to the Steam portion of my backlog, and I started with this game. It came out in 2013, and yeah, I'm playing it on Steam. It did come out on other platforms as well, like console and stuff like that, but I played it on Steam with a PS4 controller on here on the big PC. So if you wanted to know how I played it and got my experience, that's how I did it. So let's jump right into it, shall we? First off, this game is a very confusing start. It's obviously it's the name theater is in the name of the game. It feels very much it is like structured like a play, which I think is pretty cool. It's all the sections of levels are called chapters, and then each level is called an act, and then each level themselves is a scene. And I don't know exactly, but yeah, it's pretty cool how that's all structured, and they got like cool cutscenes about plays and stuff like that. But it had a very weird, confusing start to the game with the opening monologues and stuff. I don't know, that's for everybody, but I didn't have sound while playing this game. I don't know what wrong with my sound, but I don't have sound. So yeah. So I probably was missing some key pieces there. But once the game got going, I was able to find the gist of how the main menus worked and how the levels worked and everything like that. So it wasn't really that big of a deal in the long run. And this game feels, another thing, this game feels very much like a Steam game. The lighthearted openness of the outer part of the game, but you dive in, it's got a very dark, deep meaning to it. Well, not the meaning's maybe not the best word, but aura or like feel to it. That's what this game definitely had. It's a T for teen rating, which I think is a little excessive, because they said it was going to be like gore and blood. There was probably a little bit. I didn't really see any. So that, like, a T rating's a little high, but it fits the premise of a Steam game very much so. So at least I got the experience I was going in for with a Steam game on Steam. Haha, get it? Let's talk about the levels. There are a ton of levels in this game. There are 80 main levels plus 24 bonus levels. And I think there's even a whole bonus chapter in the game too. I didn't bother to investigate. But that's over 100 levels. So it's 104, and we're not counting that potential bonus chapter, but there's bonus levels. 3 bonus levels at the end of each chapter that you can do, plus the 80 that are in the main game. That's a lot of levels. And you're thinking, how in the hell did I already beat this game? It took me like 3 days to beat it, but I didn't get very good playing time any of those days. I could have easily beat this in a day. I think I played it for just over 4 hours. How do you expect me to do that? That's because the levels are all really, really short, or the great majority of them are incredibly short. You can do them in like 2 minutes. Because, the goal of collecting the 3 gems to complete the level, the gems are usually going to find 3 gems along the main path to beat the level. Now, there's going to be more gems to collect, but those are just bonus. And it's a nice way to be able to explore the level. It's a nice way to be able to appreciate the entire functionality of the level. But if you're just looking to get the 3 and move on, they're going to most likely be along the main path, or maybe sometimes they're all pocketed in one area, so that you can get that right at the end of the level, so you can get them there. There's definitely, and there's plenty of ways to get gems. It's not going to be an issue for you, and you'll be easily able to complete many of these levels. And they start off very, very simple. You just jump over a couple things, climb up something. Oh, here's your gem. Walk off into the next level. And when you have 80 main levels in the game, it's expected that probably all 80 are not going to have the greatest in-depthness to them. They're going to be pretty short, pretty simple. Not going to look like they were worked on as much as if a game that had like 20 levels for the whole game instead of 80. That does not mean these levels are easy, though. In fact, it was actually about the first 4 chapters I whipped through in like 30 minutes. And so I'm thinking, wow, holy shit, this game is going to be fucking awesome. And then the 5th chapter gave me a little bit of a hard time, but I was able to do it relatively quickly. And then chapter 6 to the end of the game is just absolutely insane. Cultivating with one of the hardest levels in all of video game history that I've played, which is the very final, is the finale for chapter 8, which I won't even get to here because I think it's just incredibly stupid. And yeah, you want to know why I'm in such a mentally deprived state right now? It's because of that level and that level only. I threw the chair that I'm currently sitting in. Through is a strong word. I flopped on the floor. My hands hurt because I kept slapping my thighs. Those are burning like hell right now. Yeah, not a fun time to be me. But beating it just makes it that much more satisfying when you do. And this was a game I really didn't feel like I needed to consult a walkthrough, but I did, because a lot of the levels, especially like I said at the end of the game, are very technical. You have to do this thing at this very specific moment, in this very specific way. Otherwise, you're gonna die. You're gonna run out of time. And that's another thing that really annoyed me. I think the finale levels definitely had a lot more elaboration to them compared to the other main levels in the game. But you couldn't really appreciate it because you're on a time limit to beat the level or grab whatever you need to grab and move on. It really would be nice if they had either they let us just not have a time limit, like the rest of the game doesn't have a time limit. Why do these end ones do? Or give us like a special mode to go in and explore them. I think that would allow us to explore them a little bit better, maybe appreciate those kind of levels a little bit better. And that's what I would think would be nice to do. Because, yeah. And then also having multiple sections of the finale. I get it. It's the final level. There's no real bosses or anything like that. So I guess that's what you're kind of replacing here with a longer level. But that was just so dumb. It's just so dumb. Like, fucking God. And back to the technicality parts. I mean, like, there will be a part where you're like... I mean, again, even the later levels, you can still, if you know what you're doing, complete it in less than, like, 2 or 3 minutes in that time frame. So, like, but because of that, they're so fast-paced. Just bam, 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 bam. You're jumping along these bounce pads of lava, and then all of a sudden you're getting catapulted. There's rocks flying around that you got to avoid, red squares sometimes, and then a guy's shooting grenades, sniping you once you spawn back in from death. You got to avoid spikes all over the walls. It's a really mentally draining game because you have to put in 100% focus, use as much brain power as humanly possible to put it all into the game just to beat these levels, because because there's so much to process, there's so much to do, there's so much to look at, and you have zero time to process or react to or even take a break for even a second about what you are going to do in the game. You can't even figure out where the end is, where you're supposed to go. You just gotta go, 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 go. and just hope you're right. Most of the time you will be, because they're very goal focus driven. There's not a lot of ways just to wander off into a random section of the level that means really nothing. Outside of when you find those yarn things, yarn balls. Those are some of the hardest sections in the entire game, and then you just find this yarn ball that all it does is like, oh, 100% completionist people. Here you go. Like, what the fuck, people? Come on. But yeah. This is, yeah. As far as the graphics go, I mean, they're okay. Again, feels like a Steam game. It was definitely cool colors, and I think the moods were pretty cool. I can't rate like music or anything like that because I didn't hear any music, but I thought the graphics were just okay for the time. They were nothing horrible, but they were far from anything like spectacular either. But there's no expectations for this to be super spectacular either, so not a big deal. The controls are pretty simple, but like I said, it's very fast paced. And when you have a controller, it might be on a little bit of the older side, or it's not going to be very. Sometimes, even the highest advanced controllers are probably not going to be responsive every single time you try one of these levels. So, when it's so quick, go, 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 fast paced, just bam, 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 right at the other, you're bound to have some lag delays. You're bound to have some fail. No matter how good your internet is, no matter how good your controller is, most times you're going to have that problem, and you just got to power through it because you will get it eventually. But it can be annoying. So, but I mean, the controls is the base level. They're pretty simple. They're simple, easy to figure out. I know playing on Steam and having them thinking you're a Nintendo Switch button layout and not putting the game as a Nintendo Switch controller button layout, and you're playing as a PS4 controller, you have to do a little bit of like memorizing what key is actually what it is. But for some other people, but not everybody's going to have that issue though. Yeah. That's it for Battleblock Theater. My final score for this review, I'm gonna have to give it a good 6 out of 10. I was gonna give it a much higher score than that as of like yesterday, time of recording this at least, and this last session really downgraded me. It just has. Oh, I'm so tired. Sorry. It just has no business being that hard. It really doesn't. Near the end of the game, it's just overly infuriating compared to the rest of the game, and there's definitely a lot of other things that they could improve in this game too if they ever wanted to remake it or make a second game. There would definitely be some better ways. If you're ever listening, I don't know who made this game. If you're listening, take Pringle's suggestions. When you make him go psychotic, you know there's a problem. But anyways, if you've ever played Battleblock Theater, either on Steam or on console, I'd like to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video again, guys. Stay tuned for much more amazing content. I got to get this uploaded, and I got to go to bed. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.